everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Fantastic Fathers Television Network. We have a great guest here with us today. I'm super excited to talk with him. His name is Sergio Zevallos. He is a husband, a new father to a 1.5-year-old son, and the outlet chef at the Nero Steakhouse in Casino Windsor. He's traveled the world. If you threw a dart at a map, I'm sure he's probably been there. So he's going to tell us about some of that stuff today and going to let us know about the chef life, new dad life, and a few other things that he has going on. So super excited to talk to him, and he'll be coming up next with us. Thanks. Okay, we're back. And before I get to Sergio, I just want to remind everyone, we did launch our community safety initiative with the kids' safety signs. If they're on our Facebook page, if you've been on there, you've probably seen them. We want to advise motorists to slow down and be more cautious and aware this summer. There's going to be a lot of kids playing in their front yards this year compared to normal, obviously due to the COVID-19. So we have these signs. They're really nice. They're durable, just like a real estate sign. The Hogans hooked us up really nice at Hogan Print Shop. We love these signs. We want to keep the kids safe. So if you're interested in having one of these in your own yard, get in touch with us through our Facebook page or send us an email at fantasticfathers2016@gmail.com, and we'll give you all the details. $10 donation to Fantastic Fathers gets you one of these signs. So let's help keep the kids safe this summer and try to avoid obviously a terrible tragedy. Okay, we're going to be back real soon with Sergio Zevallos. Welcome to the big show, Sergio. Happy to have you here today. How you doing?
Glad to be here. I'm doing great, man. Thank you.
Well, your life story is pretty amazing. You're an extensive world traveler. I'd like to hear some more about that, but let's start with give us some of your background. Where were you born and raised?
I was born and raised in Venezuela, South America. My parents were Peruvian immigrants that moved to Venezuela in the 70s. There was a huge oil boom at that time and attracted a lot of professionals. Both my parents are engineers, so they moved to Venezuela. And both my sister and I were born and raised there, man.
So as fast as you can, because we're on a limited budget with the show here, just list off some of the places that you've been in this world.
Man, I've been lucky to travel a lot as a chef. We move around quite a bit. I started my journey here in Canada. This is where I learned English in Calgary with some cousins of my parents, and started in Vancouver, then moved on to Australia, where I went to college and kind of like formalized my education, got a bachelor's degree. Spent some time in Singapore, then moved over to Europe for a couple of months, actually about 10 months in Europe, where I did a bit of culinary in France, and then went to study Italian. My mom's side of the family is Italian in origin, has roots in Italy, so I was always interested in the culture. So I spent some time there. Then I'm trying to be quick here. Then went to, then actually moved to Peru for about 4 years. I just wanted to spend more time with the extended family and my grandparents, especially. So I worked there for 4 years. Then a friend of mine that had gone to school with me in France actually owned a hotel operation in South Africa, and that's how I ended up there. They were looking for an executive chef. So I kind of like flew after I was done in Peru and auditioned for the position. I spent about a month in their property and eventually moved to South Africa. And yeah.
You hearing all this? You getting all this? This guy's been more places in 1 year than I have in the last 25.
Yeah, and worked in South Africa for a couple of years. I was in charge of their hotel operation. It was a beautiful property in a wildlife reserve. So we had animals roaming free.
Wow.
No predators. We had lions, but they were in their own enclosures. But you had giraffes. You could go out for a run or a bike and just see giraffes everywhere.
Unreal.
Antelopes. It was unreal experience, man. And then I met my wife in South Africa, and we moved back to Canada, man.
The lovely Landi.
The lovely Landi.
How are you, Landi? Give a little shout out to Landi here today. So when did you realize your love of cooking?
Man, that was early on. I remember, but back home, there was a point where we started getting chores like everybody else, like every kid that comes into the teenage years and just gets assigned chores. And for some reason, I always gravitated towards the kitchen. I always wanted to help, whether it was prepping or just dishing up food at home, and I just kind of like grew from there. My mom is a great cook. Actually, my extended family cooks really well. So I developed a love for it, and I really enjoyed it.
Nice. So you knew right away that was going to be your chosen profession.
Actually, I was channeled more than knowing right away. I knew I wanted to cook, but back then you got to understand, it's not like now where you have cooking schools everywhere.
Right.
Every major college offers a cooking school program. Back in the early 2000s, it wasn't the case, at least in South America. In Venezuela, I believe we had one cooking school, and it was kind of amateurish.
Mm-hmm.
So the only way that I could actually pursue a professional career back then was to go abroad, go overseas. And we chose Canada because we have family. My dad especially has family coast to coast. Yeah, it was a bit hard, especially for my parents being both engineers, just to let me go that route.
Mm-hmm.
I actually ended up doing a semester of mechanical engineering as my rite of passage
just to satisfy
the pass calculus with 9.5 out of 20, and that was a pain after failing it once. So yeah.
That's what the calculator's for. So you mentioned that there wasn't many colleges and stuff doing this back then, but you're actually at St. Clair, are you not?
I'm really happy to partner up with St. Clair. I'm actually teaching at their hospitality program. So the second year students get to learn basic culinary skills and actually practice in a controlled student or test restaurant, they call it, where they are actually serving live customers under our supervision. Mm-hmm. So you have a front of the house team teaching the front of the house service students, and you have us. So there's about three or four of us chef instructors teaching the group of students in the kitchen. Mm-hmm. It's a solid program. I think St. Clair, if I had the facilities St. Clair College has to teach their students now, if I had it back in 2000 when I went to cooking school, I would have been so happy, because they have state-of-the-art facilities. They have their own TV screens on each station where they can actually see on a bird's eye view what the chef is doing or how the demonstration is going. It's pretty impressive. I'm really happy.
We love St. Clair College. They're one of our annual sponsors here, so thank you to them. That's for sure. You want to tell us a little bit about? I mean, casino's been closed, right?
Man.
Do you miss it? What do you miss most?
Of course I miss it, man.
Tell us about Nero's.
Nero's is an amazing restaurant, and we're blessed to have such a facility where we get to play with, again, state-of-the-art equipment. We get the best ingredients we can possibly source, whether it is steaks or just any ingredients that we want to experiment with. So yeah, I miss it terribly. We work with a great team of cooks and chefs. So it's been a little hard to stay home, but at the same time, as you know, it's been a bit of a blessing to spend time with the family as well.
No doubt about that. We're going to get into that. We're just getting warmed up. We're going to get into the new father role that Sergio is here, but we still have some more things to cover here. Yeah. Pretty exciting thing. You have custom apron business going on?
That as well. So Rocksmith Apron started in the Philippines with a couple of friends. He actually spent some time in Australia with me. He was going to college for culinary when I was doing management, and we lived in the same campus, so we got to know each other and become good friends. So he started the apron business in the Philippines with his wife, who's the main designer and driver of the business back in 2014, I believe. I requested a sample, I think back in actually 2015, 2016. I just wanted a sample. So I wanted to see them and feel them. And I honestly thought there was a market here in North America for this quality. We get to see a lot of mass-produced aprons out there, but the quality is not always up to standard. These guys are, inspected by hand and made by hand, and the designs are unique.
Well, I see you brought one with you today. Let's see.
This is your camel barbecue apron.
What?
So
it's for me.
Father's Day is coming, so this is for you, my friend.
Wow.
There you go.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You can have it.
We'll quickly open this up here. It's feels heavy. Like it's. Just
I've been really thankful that a lot of local chefs have purchased the aprons and are quite happy.
How's this look?
Pretty cool for you. Nice
awesome.
and bright.
I can't wait.
So we have a lot of chefs that carry it. The Bill Deslip in Smashed Apple. We have chefs at the Walkerville Brewery as well using it.
Nice.
Chefs at Coma. So quite a few locals, man.
Where can we find these if somebody wants to order one?
So this is a strictly online business. So we are primarily selling via Instagram and Facebook. So there's 2 pages. The main one is Rocksmith PH, but they deal with the international Asian market. So they're based in the Philippines. And HSM North. At HSM North is my North America. So I represent the aprons for the United States and Canada.
Awesome. Good for you. You have your own How to Foodie YouTube channel. How did that start, and what can people expect if they log on to that?
I think How to Foodie was me trying to continue transferring my knowledge, and that was one of the reasons why I wanted to join both St. Clair College and also I have been part of the amateur cooking program with President's Choice in their superstore locations. I've always wanted to pass on the knowledge and teach, and I enjoy it. It's really rewarding just to see how people react to you, teaching them some basic cooking skills or even tricks or techniques they didn't know. So How to Foodie, I think, flourished out of the need for me to continue transferring that knowledge on an online format with YouTube, and that's what it's all about,
Well, I've watched a couple episodes myself, and they're awesome. I'm definitely going to check into that every time you post a new one.
Thank you.
So I also see here that you have a nutrition program based in South Africa. What's the story on that?
So the lady's name is Alicia Kellerman. She's a nutritionist based in South Africa. She's actually in the same town that my wife was born in, and they met through Facebook. And she was actually looking for a chef to help her bring her nutrition recipes to life. So she saw my YouTube channel, funny enough, and ended up contacting us. We had a nice Zoom meeting and decided to work together first on a 7-day challenge that did really well on Facebook. We got a lot of attention, and now we're working together on a 12-week program that is focused on nutrition for the family, for home cooks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we're getting close to the end here. A couple more things going on in Sergio's world here. I don't know how he does it, but your newest venture, the Busy Bee Test Kitchen. What can you say about that?
Well, Busy Bee Test Kitchen is actually a friend of mine. His name is Maurice Boire. He started a catering business at first, but then when COVID happened, he decided to really branch out and through Busy Bee cover grocery delivery. Ready-to-eat meals, and also contactless catering, where we propose to go to venues or people's homes and set up everything with no contact whatsoever, mainly through backyard style barbecue settings. That's the plan.
I'll be so happy when this is over, eh?
So I am a collaborator and guest chef. We're actually coming up with some exciting offerings for Father's Day starting Monday, which you're going to be involved as well.
That was my next question.
We're going to keep that top secret because we want it to be special and sort of a very surprise wow. So yeah, for Father's Day, we have a special offering that you're going to be part of on Monday at 3 p.m. We're going to go live on Facebook. So I'm going to be Maurice's guest chef, and we're going to do something pretty impressive, I think. It's definitely a support local initiative. We're supporting some local businesses in the area. And just gearing up towards Father's Day, man. We're going to get the ball rolling.
I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be it's a first for me, so I'm looking forward to it, and going to learn some techniques and some tips. Speaking of that, I'm gonna ask Serge to give us some tips and techniques that I'm gonna post in the comment section of this video. So we're gonna try and I'm gonna make you do some work for us here after the show, and just give us maybe like a couple of quick tips for cooking steaks or chickens, and maybe like an easy marinade or something.
Sure.
Some guy barbecue stuff. Something like that. What is the secret? Real quick, what is the secret to a perfectly barbecued steak? Is it 2 flips? Is it 4 flips? What am I doing here?
Not touch it, man. You need to have your grill nice and hot, and I predominantly like to use charcoal, although I understand charcoal takes time, and sometimes the gas grill is a way to go, but not touching it. We make the mistake or the assumption that you need to continuously flip your steak and move it around. It is not the case. Your steak on average needs about 5 to 8 minutes per side just to sear properly, and that will not even bring it to medium. So be patient.
What's the temperature setting like for the barbecue?
For a barbecue, I would go 400 and above. Actually, the hotter your barbecue, so that you get those nice sear marks on your steak, the better. So if you
Okay.
have a high BTU barbecue, take it all the way up, get it
Yeah.
nice and hot so that you get those nice grid patterns on your steak. I love my steak medium rare. I would
Me
not
too.
recommend anyone to go beyond medium on a nice ribeye or strip loin.
I agree.
Yeah, we.
That's once in a while I like to hear a little moo when I. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey,
Sorry to apologize to all the
you
vegetarians.
can do that
out
with a nice strip loin. Ribeye, you
Yeah.
need a little bit higher because of all the gristle, the fat in the
Yeah.
middle. You need to go towards the medium mark
Nice.
for a good flavor.
All
And,
right,
and the
we'll get
seasoning, sorry, man.
No, I was gonna say we'll get that in the comment section. We'll put it on there. A quick barbecue.
Seasoning, keep it really simple. We have a secret rub, where it's a Nero's rub that combines a few spices. But honestly, you don't need to go crazy. Good salt and pepper. If you wanna get creative with some smoked paprika, with some roasted fennel seeds, and grind it on a spice mix. Absolutely. Yeah, but yeah, you don't need to get it complicated, especially if it's a good quality steak.
Well, we appreciate that tip there. And I don't know how you do manage your time. And we're going to talk about that actually, but I want to shift gears now. We got everything that's going on in your professional career life and chef life. Now I want to hear about new dad life.
Dad life.
Yeah.
Man.
So you and your wife, Landi, have a 1.5 year old son, Lucas. Yeah. How does it feel to be a new father?
It feels amazing. It's kind of surreal because now that I've been home a lot more, I realize how much I missed of his first year. When he was born, actually, that sort of fell on my day off, and I had booked myself for a catering the day he was born. So it's all a blur right now, and I realize what a sucky dad I must have been on his first day in this world. But he was born in the morning, and we ended up just getting him ready. They transfer us to the room, and then I was off to shower, change, feed the dog, and go to my catering at a golf club near where we live. And then run back afterwards and head back to the hospital. But he's a blessing. He's an amazing kid. He's a happy kid, which I'm so fortunate to have someone that is just constantly smiling and looking up to you. So it's a fantastic feeling.
Nice.
Landi's an amazing mom. She's done most of the legwork, man. I've just been here, recently, and just watching him get to know me, because he really did not know me other than the screen,
right.
Before he goes to bed while I was at work. So
yeah, well, I try to tell everyone. I mean, obviously, no one saw this COVID-19 coming, and it was scary and dangerous and that, but this is bonus time.
It is, absolutely.
And our kids are gonna look back and they'll remember this, and they'll remember this time, and they're watching us they're seeing how we're handling this situation, and I mean, the older kids and that. So it's a learning experience for them. It's bonus time for us as parents to be with them, and I don't want to make light of it, but I try to find the positive in everything, and that's what I consider it anyways. So.
That's what we're doing at home as well. I mean, Landi has her own things going, and I spend a lot of time as well, just working on different projects, but just spending time in the morning, getting his breakfast ready, or coming down when he's having his breakfast, because he wakes up really early sometimes. I'm a bit of a night owl, so I spend a lot of time alone at night till 1, 2 in the morning, and then I'm usually up in between 8:30, and he's already having breakfast. So seeing that, spending some time with him in the backyard, we're teaching him all the herbs that we have, so he knows how to say a few.
So you're doing
already,
to him
man.
What your dad did to you. With the engineering, your dad tried to push you that way. You're going to push him.
I'm not pushing it, but I do see it as an essential skill. Every guy needs to have some basics, man.
Mm-hmm.
Learn how to grill a steak.
Yeah, no, exactly, no doubt about that. Got to survive. I moved out when I was 20, so if I couldn't cook, I wouldn't have survived. So.
Exactly, man.
Chef life's all about preparation.
Yeah.
Did you do anything to prepare to be a new parent before Lucas was born?
Actually, no. I have to admit, I was a bit of a slacker. Honestly, Landi bought all the books, and I did read a little bit, but she again did most of the legwork, and bless her for putting up with my nonsense, because I was always busy working. But of course, I was mentally preparing myself for the challenge, and to be a good example and role model, because that's what I had growing up. I had a fantastic father who was always there. We never missed anything. We never lacked good advice and guidance. So I wanna be exactly like that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I myself, I don't know if you've ever been there. Have you heard of the Connections Early Years Family Center?
No.
No. So there's a bunch of early years centers all throughout Ontario and all over the place. But I came across one of the things I did to prepare to become a new father is I searched some places online and I came across Connections Early Years Family Center. They're on right at Erie and Giles there, and they had a bunch of programs just for. There's probably 10 different programs that they run there, but I saw that they kind of had like a talk group, they like a parent interactive group and stuff like that. And I went there and I fell in love with the place and I ended up becoming a volunteer there and a co-facilitator now. And I sit on a committee there. It's called the Connections Dads Activity Committee. And I highly recommend the place. It's for kids 0 to 6.
Nice.
At most of the Ontario Early Centers, it's a tongue twister. Ontario Early Years Centers are 0 to 6. But if you guys haven't been there, I totally recommend checking it out. Just lots of programs, lots of advice. The kids, your parents can go up and learn and get educated when the kids are in a fully secure area downstairs with all the trained people to watch them and play with them and all that. And it's a great place. And my daughter just turned 6, so we've kind of reached the end of our run there with her, but I'm going to continue on doing my thing there with them. But
awesome.
I do recommend everybody who has
it out.
Yeah, check that place out. It's really good. I got my start there and it's led me to where I am today. So I want to thank them. Thank you, everybody there at Connection staff. Let me see, did you have any, like, what were your biggest fears when you knew that Lucas was on his way? And even, so maybe give us a fear that you had when he was on his way, and then maybe a fear that you still have.
Man, I think it's just that the same funny feeling of him, especially the physical part, having his 10 toes and his 10 fingers, little things like that, hoping that there wasn't anything wrong. And I mean, Landi took great care of herself, and she always does. She ate properly. She tried as much as possible not to be stressed, even though her work, her line of work could be a little stressful. So my biggest thing in mind was that he was physically okay, and that obviously that he was that nothing was wrong during birth, and everything went well. The staff was fantastic. We had an amazing nurse, taking care of Landi from the moment the contractions kind of like got heavier, and she knew that she was going to give birth. So the whole team at Med Hospital was great.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Big shout out to them too. That's where my daughter was born.
Yeah.
Going back to just your schedule and all the things you got going on, how do you manage? Like, how do you manage your time between, we got work, family, and I'm assuming you sleep a little bit. So.
Well, actually, funny enough, I'm working with a life coach also based in South Africa. My mother-in-law, I have fantastic in-laws as well. I think I'm blessed to really have a good support circle, both on my family and on her side of the family. My in-laws are great. So my mother-in-law actually put me in touch with this life coach or life coach in training that needed some test subjects. So I am Melissa's, her name. Melissa's coaching me through a few tips to better organize my life, and I'm working with her in doing so. I have a bullet board set up in my kitchen, so I have kind of like a weekly planner going on, and that's helping me tremendously. But nice. Yeah, I do sleep. But I especially when Lucas goes to bed, that's where I do most of my leg work. I like to work at night. It's always been that way. I think it's just part of the industry. We work late hours, and that's where I find my real push. Yeah.
Do you and Landi divide up the parenting duties? I know obviously you mentioned earlier you do some of the preparing the foods, obviously, right. But anything else that you guys share and divide up? Do you get down and dirty and change the diapers?
I actually started doing that more of that lately. I was a bit apprehensive about changing the poopy diaper. Funny because I do pick up on my dog's crap all the time. So it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. At first I thought I was going to just throw up all over the kid, and I was a little petrified of doing that. So but it's been okay. I mean, most of the cooking, yes, absolutely. And now with the bullet board that we have in place, because I do want Landi to be able to work more on her self-growth and on her projects as well, which are very important to me. And just to see her get better and better every month with what she's doing. It's just I need her to have her time as well. So I'm getting more involved.
That's a very, very good point. You guys both have things going on, so you're sharing the duties with everything, and a lot of encouragement. I've seen what she does too on Facebook and Instagram, and that. I think it's awesome. So you guys just
I gotta work. I know I gotta work on my patience a little bit more, because obviously the kid kind of like gets distracted and drifts after one task to the other, and that kind of like throws me off. But like, I guess that's gonna come with
Well,
experience.
there's always something. just when you learn to deal with that, he'll have something else going that you gotta learn
I'm sure
to
he
deal
will.
with.
I'm sure he will.
What else? You mentioned that you grew up with a great family, great parents.
Yeah, man.
So those are obviously your parenting role models.
Absolutely.
Is there stuff that anything that you wish that maybe they would have taught you that you're now going to teach your son?
You know what? I do, and it must be a cultural. I think it's a combination of cultural and also the country that we grew up in. Back home and in many parts of South America, labor is really cheap. So you hire people to do your plumbing, you hire people to do your carpentry. Even though my dad actually painted houses, my grandfather was a contractor. That skill really didn't transfer as much as he wanted us to focus. I know he did it for a good reason. He wanted us to focus on education. He didn't want us to just drop off school and get a job. But I wish I could have learned more of the hand skills that everyone here knows how to build a deck or paint the garage door or paint the ceiling. I mean, sometimes I find myself just wondering what will YouTube say about this ceiling and how to do it, because I honestly did not hone in those skills, and I feel like I'm gonna have to do something about that.
It's funny. I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, you too. Okay.
I think like here, especially my dad's generation, they know everything.
Doers,
they can
man.
do everything. There's nothing my dad can't do, and I kind of was just like the flashlight holder. Like,
right?
And I didn't learn anything. And, it's just, he would just fix everything, and I would just shine the light here, shine the light there, and was told I wasn't even good at that sometimes. So I never really learned anything. And now that he comes over and he helps me all the time. My dad is, you're awesome, Dad. I love everything that you do for me. And I'm trying to pay more attention now and learn. I didn't do it when I was younger, but I'm catching on to some things now. But yeah, I was pretty hands off.
See, my parents recently bought an apartment. They live in Traverse City in Michigan. With my sister lives in Michigan, so they have their own apartment. So we got to do the whole gutting and renovation together. And that's actually one of the first times that I actually saw my dad paint and scrape, that popcorn pattern of the ceiling and all that. It was great seeing that, because he did it so well. My brother-in-law, it's incredible. It's an incredible craftsman, handyman, you name it. He does everything, and his house looks amazing. So I usually get tips from him. Yeah, I know, right? Like he's a landscape architect. That's actually what he does for a living. So yeah, I wish I had him closer sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
I got to bribe him with a case of beer.
There you go. I'm gonna bribe you with a case of beer to come over and cook a steak for me one day.
Absolutely.
What advice would you have? I know you're a new dad, but any advice for maybe some of the dads out there that are brand new fathers or are expecting anytime soon?
Man, don't set yourself. I guess more than setting yourself up, don't freak out on the fact that you have to be perfect. I did that a lot. As he was getting closer and closer to being born. It's like I want to be perfect. This, perfect that. I want to show him that I'm a good example, and that fear of the future and what I could be and could not be was kind of like sometimes a little anxiety builder, right? Sure. So just be calm, be who you are, and you got this, man.
Yeah, just being there is.
And if you have a great partner, it's even better. And I'm honestly blessed because Landi is a fantastic mother too.
I have met Landi, and you guys are an awesome couple.
Thanks.
I'm jealous of what you guys have. Good for you guys.
Thank you. Man.
We're gonna wrap this up here shortly. Father's Day is coming up.
Yes, sir.
So, do you have anything to say to your dad? Anything like that?
He knows. We talk on the regular, but just Happy Father's Day, and I really wish we could spend it together, but. The time will come as soon as the borders open. We might plan a little escapade there up north, because I love Traverse City too. So
yeah,
I don't mind popping by and saying hey. But yeah, it's been a while.
Good. And last question. I want you to. Your son is a year and a half, so he's a little young. So let's pretend we're gonna fast forward 20 years into the future, and somehow, some way, he stumbles across this interview. What would you like from your heart? What would you like to say to him? What do you want him to know?
I want him to know that I love him no matter what, and that he is going to be great at whatever he decides to do in the future. It's going to be his choice. I'm going to be there to support him and guide him because I want him to be happy. I want him to be happy doing what he loves and just being a good, decent human being.
Awesome.
Love you, son.
Well, I got a little gift for you too. Got our little
Awesome.
I have a Fantastic Father t-shirt for Lucas here.
This will fit him in no time.
You're in the club, buddy.
He's
you're
growing like a weed. This is going to
Nice.
fit him soon enough, man.
Cool.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. I hope this world gets back to normal soon and we can start doing our Fantastic Fathers community group events that we love doing, and we miss them terribly. And I hope to see you guys at the events now that you're part of the Dad Club now.
Absolutely, man.
So that's great. Thanks for being here, buddy. I really appreciate it. And
Pleasure.
I hope everybody enjoyed our interview with Sergio today.
See you Monday, man.
Take care.